Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, fuck everybody, just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Hi, Bullhorn Betty. Thank you for my shirt. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Kids Club.
Something doesn't make sense about the Lilly and Jack Sullivan case, and maybe you can help me. Lilly and Jack Sullivan disappeared from their trailer off of Gairloch Road in Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia, Canada. And Mom has been MIA since May 3rd, the day after they disappeared, which has the public kind of enraged. Many people question the statements from Malehya Brooks-Murray, which are the kids' mom, and their stepfather, or quasi-stepfather, Daniel Martell. They basically stated that these two very loud children managed to get out of the house without making any noise, got into the backyard, somehow finagled out of the backyard, and got lost in all of this terrain. But I digress. That's not what this video is about. What this video is about is the story that has been rumored about why Malehya wasn't staying at home. Malehya has tribal connections, so many people wondered why she didn't stay on the reservation. Many people rumored that it had something to do with the tribe not accepting her two other children. But I'm not sure that's accurate, because where was she staying before she met Daniel? These were still her children. Many people are using that rumor as a way to justify why these children are gone, that they weren't accepted into the tribe, and now with them missing, they've been accepted into the tribe. And I don't know who's passing that around, but again, where were these kids living before she met Daniel? They were living on the reservation. Make that make sense. We have breaking new information on the manhunt related to Travis Decker, which is on the run in Washington state. We were told he may be heading north to Canada, but the trajectory and his path of travel right now, according to law enforcement, is heading south. According to Chelan County Sheriff Morrison, he stated a few different things. 1, they have tracked his scent. 2, they found multiple items out there in their search that are items of interest. 3, hikers spotted a lone man not suited for the elements. 4, law enforcement saw this lone hiker not suited for the elements, but he ran away from them. He ran away as the helicopter was approaching. They did find footprints that they have been tracking. I have no earthly idea what is going on in Travis Decker's mind. All I know is I'm ready for this manhunt to end. I'm ready for justice to be had. And I'm praying for Whitney Decker, Peyton, Olivia, and Evelyn's mom. Guys, I don't usually get political on this channel, but something really just gets under my craw. There was a congressional hearing where they had governors from Minnesota, Illinois, and New York. So this is Tim Walz, this is J.B. Pritzker, and this is Kathy Hochul. But it's Kathy Hochul's comments that really enrage me. It was this questioning here between her and this particular congressional overseer. I'm unfamiliar with who this is. It is her comments. So whether or not you believe in sanctuary policies or not, I would definitely think that everybody wants safety no matter where you come from or why you're here in the United States. For this lady to have policies and not even know what her policies are doing to her own citizens is disgusting to me. Sagir Akin, he's accused of R-ing a 15-year-old girl and threatening her. And she had no idea who this person was, although it was all over the news in New York and, of course, across the nation. We all knew about this. But if you didn't, there's no way you wouldn't have known about the next one. This is Sebastian Zabetta, if I'm pronunciating his name correctly. But this was well known. Everybody knew about this. Somehow, Kathy Hochul from New York had no knowledge of either one of these cases in her state. Now, if you're going to have policies, at least know what the policies are doing to your community. But she signed this policy 3 separate times and let both of those individuals walk before they committed their atrocities. I'm sorry. That's not okay with me. Is it okay with you? Let me know your thoughts. Wonderful Friday. We don't have the best news as always on the Bullhorn Betty channel, but before we get in the gunk, we're going to say hi to everybody and get blessed, and then we'll get on to the stories. We'll start doing real life. Real life in some cases really kind of stinks a little bit. So I'm trying to make it my way up to the top, but we've had this live scheduled for several hours now. So I'm going to try to get down to where everybody starts coming in. We'll start with YouTuber dancing away up here. We're going to say hi to YouTuber Whispering Winds, Pebbles. It's nice to see you. Denise, Elisa, it's nice to see you. Did I just move? And of course, let me move this off here. Hopefully that'll help with the lag until we're ready for the lag. Erna, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Our beautiful Pebbles is up in that house. Good morning, Mr. Seth. It's nice to see you. Kathleen, Donna, Linda, it's nice to see you. Whispering Winds, Detective Whiskers, Brenda, good morning. Lisa be always. Hey, hey, hey. Turtle Talk is up in the house. Yes, we do see you. But every time I hear somebody say hello, oh, and you said hello. Good to see everyone. I thought you said, do you see me, everyone? And I'm like, I don't like that. I don't know what it is about when people start coming in here and saying that. I feel like it's a troll coming in to see if they've been unblocked or managed to break in. And you know what we say to trolls? The one thing I couldn't play yesterday.
Sneaky gremlins love to fight, but we're here to set it right. Jump and duck, let's take a shot, turning trolls into what they're not. Whack a troll, whack a troll. Let 'em tumble, let 'em roll. Swing your spatula or a stick. Whack 'em fast, whack 'em quick.
I like that. Whack 'em fast, whack 'em quick. That's what I was trying to play yesterday. When I forgot to put my comment stuff on, right? I thought you were a troll. I'm just joking. Don't kill Betty. It is nice to see you, the real Meek, too. Christina, Kathleen, Donna. I think I said hi to a few of you. That's okay. Cheryl saying prayers for Seth, and you're always on our mind. It is nice to see you guys. Where else are we? Mama, Phil, it's nice to see you. Linda, good morning. SRK, Gypsy, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Lisa, Little Orange Man. What do we have here? Turtle Talk, saying prayer for the safe return of these two babies. I hear you. Say prayers for all the kids that we're about to feature. This one right here, wrong side. This one right here, we just discussed. We knew something was hinky with the story. Remember, this is the one that blamed the white man, for going and snatching her child and everything. Law enforcement's looking at the evidence at the scene. They're like, okay, something isn't right here. And then they had already determined that she was deceased. Before I heard that they just recently found her, and mom is obviously in the clink clink. So we'll get over to those details here in just a second. SI officer, it's nice to see you, my love. I hope you are doing well. Peggy, it's nice to see you. Good morning. All right. So what we're going to do, I think I got just about everybody. Carol loves embroidery and crime shows. It's nice to see you, love. Oh, Kendra, Unicorn, it's nice to see you guys. Good morning. I think we made it to the end, or close to the end. I see me and you up in the house. I did miss a few people, didn't I? Hold on, let me just keep going up here. Kelly, Faye, it's nice to see you. Laura, VA, Archaholic, Adrian, I missed a lot of you. Frank, it's nice to see you. Faye, good morning. Rebel, Christina, Rogue, it's nice to see you guys. Now I think I'm good. If I missed you, I'm truly sorry. Hey, Cindy, I'm truly sorry. It happens. So, this is bad. This is really bad. We ran a story. It was kind of a breaking news story at the time, about this little 3-year-old girl that was missing. There was an Amber Alert issued, but the reports had already indicated, by the time we had covered it on our show, the reports were already indicating that the mom was lying, and that was coming from mainstream media. Oh, I forgot a few other people here. Oh, there we got Melanie. Happy Friday. I know, Friday the 13th. I'm not leaving the house. I have to leave the house. I have to get some stuff off in the mail today. So it kind of sucks, but pray for all of us on Friday the 13th. Who is going to be up watching the crazy movies? The blah. Is Friday the 13th and Freddy Krueger, is that still a thing on Friday the 13th? I mean, in my era, they were like that's what you did. Every single TV show, ABC, NBC, they all had these creepy movies on Friday the 13th. Like we looked forward to Friday the 13th because those were the only time we got to see the Jason movies. Well, like, I'm sorry, Halloween too. Halloween too, but very rarely. But we got to see, Freddy Krueger. And I'm just thinking, Freddy Krueger might be outdated. Like Star Wars for me, when I watched it was very creative for its time. But now looking back and looking at all, and of course, I know you guys are about to jump my crap because we got some major Star Wars people here, but in reality, okay, take away your feelings of the show, okay? There's a lot more epic, reality type of sci-fi stuff that they can do now that they were unable to do back then. But they did an amazing job for how they were able to do photography way back when Star Wars was just coming out. But that's just an example. I'm going to shut up. But anyways, I'm just saying, is Freddy Krueger still a thing? Is Freddy Krueger still a thing? Don't beat me up. Don't beat me up. Oh, Lisa B. Always, I will use the GoFundMe for more. Oh, thank you. And of course, Turtle Talk saying, well, we're praying for the safe return of these two babies. And we still have, as you guys just saw, we have Mr. Seth Rogers in the chat. We still have his baby we need to find as well. However, we're getting a lot more obstruction from law enforcement than we are in any other case, in Sebastian's case. So there is that. So the mom confessed to unaliving her 3-year-old daughter. I'm not going to read this. I'm just going to kind of give you guys the bullet points, the updates of this. Do your own research. Some of this stuff I'm going off of memory from the article I read last night. So it's my understanding that might as well read the article. They did end up finding the girl and then ultimately arrested the mom. And it sounds like that's right. We have Matt. I forgot to pull up Matt's. I sent myself Matt's TikTok about this case. Let me pull that up. This will explain it all to you. Because I gotta tell you. Hold on, let me get it. It's pulling. Okay. We're gonna turn it over to Matt because I like the way. Okay, hold on. Let's end this. Let's turn on Matt. There's Matt. Let me clear all these people off so people can't see some messages. We like to make sure we have privacy, don't we? Good gracious. All those hate channels, they don't have nothing better to do but watch old Bullhorn Betty and all her peeps. So we want to protect you guys as much as possible. All right, this is a sad case. But this is probably the most thorough. I like Matt. If you're on TikTok and you're not following Matt, you're doing yourself a disservice. If you are in true crime, you need to be. If you're on TikTok and you have not subbed up to this kid right here, you need to. I like his style. I don't know what else to say. I like his style. He doesn't come with the BS. It's just factual stuff. I like his style. What can I say? I'm one of those people. When we know, we know, right? When we know, we know. Oops, I hit. That's what I did. Are we up to full speed? We are. Okay.
Nola Dinkins, you would know that her mother, Darian Randall, has been arrested in her unaliving. Well, Darian Randall has admitted to authorities that she fatally struck her daughter to death. Prior to her admitting this, authorities ended up going to her boyfriend, Cedric Antoine Britton's home to ask questions pertaining to Nola's whereabouts. Britton stated that Randall was not home
And this also brings me to another factor, Seth. If you're still in here, there's going to be a talking point that you may not want to be here for, that's going to be said by Matt, that's going to pertain to your son's case. If you'd like to stay, you can, but I just want to give you the disclaimer so you can make the decision.
and that Nola was with her mother last he knew. Authorities ended up seeing that there were several cameras outside of the home. They retrieved that video footage and they realized that Nola never was seen leaving the home with Randall at all. Authorities then asked to go inside of the home of Cedric.
So it sounds like she tried to plan B and put this all on the boyfriend. But there's a critical piece of information. Like I said, we're going to dovetail here in just a second.
Antoine Britton. They did go inside, and while Nola was not there, there was a strong smell of bleach throughout the home, which is indicative of someone trying to clean up after a crime scene. Britton's vehicle was then checked, and authorities were able to find a blanket inside and a smudge that seemed to have been consistent with blood. And Randall was pressed. She did ultimately admit that she struck her daughter, this 3-year-old child, 15 to 20 times with a belt on Monday. The documents indicate that Nola fell to the ground. Darian continued striking her. When she finished, she realized that Nola was deceased, and that is when she called for Cedric, her boyfriend.
You guys hear that? Let's go back just a little bit. Let's go back just a
When
little
she
bit.
finished, she realized that Nola was deceased, and that is when she called for Cedric, her boyfriend.
Okay. This is a great talking point, not just for this case. This case is sad. It's a 3-year-old girl that has been unalived by her mother because she was punishing her child and went too far. That is the allegations. First and foremost, this is why I say there's a small window, okay, of child rearing that I believe corporal punishment is suitable for an age group. Okay, that's for me personally. I know that every parent has their right to discipline their children as they see fit, as long as it doesn't go from punishment to abuse. And sometimes there can be a thin line, and why I always say never ever discipline your children when you're angry. Our children make us angry. Okay. I know people say, you don't have children. I had stepkids. Okay. I had stepkids and I had grandkids from those stepkids. Okay. The idea that I have no idea what I'm talking about, that I didn't have my house full of children, is hogwash. Okay. And you don't see me debuting on my show. So obviously I didn't kill any kids. Okay. And no children disappeared under Bullhorn Betty's watch. Okay. Now, my stepkids, on the other hand, I will tell you about some dreams that only step parents understand. We love our stepchildren, but yeah, right? But we still didn't kill them, okay? We still didn't kill them. And I'm being facetious and bringing light on a very real subject of, home violence. But at the end of the day, a lot of us joke about it. We're talking about it. We talk about, oh my gosh, I could just kill my kid. I cannot believe I did that, right? But we don't really mean it, okay? It is, it's hyperbole, right? Basically, it's something that you do you say something to blow off steam, but the actual action you're never going to do because you love your children, right? You take away their devices and make them feel like their world's coming to an end for a week, and then that's the end of it, right? But in these cases, these parents are ultra violent or just have no idea how enraged they have become before disciplining their children. These are young children, and in my opinion, a 3-year-old should never understand what a belt feels like at 3 years old. Now, again, I know that some people don't like punishment at all. They don't like any type of physical punishment at all. It probably has to do with their own personal childhood trauma that makes them like that. And that's fine. Everybody comes from different backgrounds and everybody has different ways of handling things. But in our society, we're allowed to discipline our children as we see fit as long as it doesn't cross that line. So I don't have a problem with the discipline. I have the problem with the manner of discipline here. And I really truly don't believe that this little 3-year-old girl could have done something to make her mom so angry that she grabs a belt and just starts wailing on a 3-year-old child to the point that she is deceased. Okay? Kids are kids. They spill stuff. They ruin stuff. They mark on walls. If you don't want that to happen, make sure you watch your child very, very closely. And even when you watch your child closely, the little stinkers, they still haven't, managed to be able to do some stuff. But we're going to find out that this is something stupid, like the child using the bathroom on herself or the child knocking over a drink. That is what's so enraging, because at the end of this, we're going to find. But that's not the point I'm trying to make. Did you hear what she said? As soon as she realized her child was deceased, who did she call? Who did she call? Her boyfriend, her significant other. We could go boyfriend, stepdad, significant other. Why is that important? Because in the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case, now Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, can I put this up? Will this allow me to put this up? Oh, hold on, let me go back here. Hold on just a second. I want my background for Sebastian. Give me a second. I have a Sebastian background. We're going to put him up. Which one do I want? I think this one will be appropriate. Okay. All right, now we're back into business. So Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, as many of you guys know, disappeared. I personally believe that he disappeared on February 25th, which was Sunday. I just produced a video to all of you guys, and it seems like everything that Chris Proudfoot, the stepfather, talked about, screaming at Seth, by the way, screaming, you know where my parents were. You know that they weren't around, Katie and Sebastian. You know where they were on Sunday evening. Chris has always, in his mind, equated to Sebastian being gone on Sunday. Why? And how do we know that? Because when Seth was sitting there trying to find out what was going on, with the rumors of Christopher Proudfoot's mother and his stepfather, Kathy and Terry Bowersox, he comes unglued and starts screaming at Seth Rogers, stating that he knows exactly where his parents were. Exactly where his parents were on Sunday evening. He never once asked about or referenced Monday as the missing date. I don't know if Christopher has ever referenced, unless he was keeping to a script. Have we ever heard him reference that Sebastian disappeared on the 26th, other than he assumes he walked out of the front door and locked it behind him between midnight and 6 a.m.? Other than that, publicly, his internal feelings when he's put on the spot, when he's frustrated, when the truth just comes out because he's not thinking clearly because he's allowed himself to get worked up, it's Sunday night. Sunday night. But either way you look at it, what happened Sunday night? Sunday night at 9:43, Katie Proudfoot calls her husband, and they stay on the phone for an extended period of time. And I have to believe that time of the evening on a Sunday, I guarantee there were probably very few times that they've talked that long on a Sunday during that time frame. And I think law enforcement can absolutely prove that with their phone records. But again, when we're here with Matt, which I just realized I closed his thing down. I'm having some technical issues. I may have to, give me a second. I might have to do, why doesn't, I hit mute and it keeps going. Okay, so let me figure out what is going on with my technical side of things. Usually I don't have problems if my audio is on default, and it's on default. So let me make sure that there's nothing else up here that's causing issues that I can see. I hate StreamYard. This is miserable. It's like you can never get it right, ever, on StreamYard. It is always a problem. Whatever. I don't have time for it. I'll reset my system tomorrow. So we were on Matt Thibodeau, I think. Okay, let me get back. Okay. So let me add him back to the screen. We will listen to this, but that is super important because she says when she realized what happened, who did she call for help? She called her significant other. Who did Candace Bly call for help? Her significant other. Who did Katie Proudfoot call? Her significant other. So you're seeing a common theme amongst these people that I believe are horrible people that do horrible things to their children. Just me personally. So hopefully I backed it up. I think I got it. We'll back it up just a little bit.
A blanket inside.
Okay. So we're going to go back just a little bit and we'll listen to this all again. But I thought that was very interesting that she called her boyfriend as soon after something happened to him, because I truly believe, in my theory, we have been talking about that for a long time, the oh shit factor. This is the play of the oh shit factor. Oh shit, I can't believe I did that, okay? And when you're in that oh shit factor, you need to call for help because you're not thinking clearly and you don't know what to do. And there's usually always a call in the oh shit factor scenario. And here we have an oh shit factor. The mom wanted to discipline her kid. She got carried away and went too far. Now she has a deceased child. Oh shit. Right? So this is a good example of it, of my explanation of this oh shit factor we've been talking about for the last 4 years. It's right here. This is how it's played out.
And a smudge that seemed to have been consistent with blood. When Randall was pressed, she did ultimately admit that she struck her daughter, this 3-year-old child, 15 to 20 times with a belt on Monday. The documents indicate that Nola fell to the ground. Darian continued striking her. When she finished, she realized that Nola was deceased, and that is when she called for Cedric, her boyfriend. This took place in his home. Darian stated that she and Cedric tried CPR, but it was unsuccessful. They ultimately put Nola in the vehicle.
Makes you wonder. Did they do the same thing for Sebastian? Was that one of the reasons why they were on the phone so long? Was he going through this process with Katie? I mean, it is a reasonable question to ask, because a child apparently went inside a home, just like this child did, and never left the home, similar to this child. We have a similar connection where this mother calls the significant other for assistance. A lot of the same elements exist in this case with this little 3-year-old. I don't know how to handle it.
They drove around a little bit before returning back home, putting Nola's deceased body in a suitcase and leaving with her. Cedric.
I always thought something is missing from the Proudfoot home. Something is missing from the Proudfoot home, whether it be a blanket, a sea bag, a suitcase. But I can tell you, based upon the video enhancements that well, not we as the true crime community have uncovered, I guess I could say that way, shows a blob carrying a blob. So not a square, not a suitcase, but a heavy oblong blob. So I don't think a suitcase is necessarily missing from the Proudfoot home, but something is. And it makes you wonder. The chest plate hasn't been used for a long time with Sebastian. My understanding, anyways.
Actually drew out a map where he believed that Darian Randall left Nola's body, and that is ultimately what allowed authorities to find Nola deceased in a suitcase on Dune Drive.
My question is, why do so many men jump into gear for their woman? Why would somebody that has nothing to do with a death of a child insert themselves? I mean, I don't know. I'm sorry. You on your own, boo. I ain't touching shit. You know what I'm doing? I'm calling 911. You got 15 minutes to get your crap and start running. That's about as much as I'm giving you. What is going through these people's minds that they actually come home and help? Like, I mean, I've got a line in the sand. Like, I'm a ride or die with my best friend, right? But there's still a line in the sand. She my best friend, but there's just some things. Nope. Nope. I don't get it. That's just insane to me.
This was in a vacant lot, and it is reported that it was Britton who actually left Nola's body there, not Darian. That's what the court documents are saying. The remains showed a completely emaciated child, a child who was not eating regularly, and the body was wrapped in saran wrap. I genuinely cannot believe that a mother could do this kind of thing to her child, but we're seeing it.
I'm sorry. That little girl's face, she melts my heart, that little smile. I just, there's so many times I gotta, and right now, all I do have to compare, you guys can beat me up. That's okay. I'll take it. I'll take it. You guys beat me up because I talk about animals when I talk about kids, but it's because my fur baby's my baby, right? And so I got some experience. My girl's just a year old. We're about to come up to our 1-year anniversary, actually together, closer to the end of this month. And I got to tell you, sometimes she gets me so frustrated. She's a perfect little puppy. I mean, for being a puppy, but still, puppies are puppies, right? The paper. I got shreds of paper. No matter how many times I sweep, there's a flurry of paper coming out somewhere. This damn dog has tore up. You get her tissue, it's all over the place. Paper towel, it's all over the place. Paper. Oh, good gracious, it's all over the place. So there's times when this dog gets me so frustrated, and I look down at her little cute face, and I just start laughing at her because she's just so damn cute. You know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't punish her. I couldn't punish her for being a puppy, right? And so I look at this little face, and it's like, this little girl would be so spoiled, slap rotten. Because no matter how devious this little 3-year-old could possibly be, I look at that little face, that little smile, and I'd probably just start laughing, right? And just to think that somebody could steal those bright eyes and smiles from her. Anybody could do that, let alone her own mother. It just it angers me. And we cover so many of these cases so much that it's just, it angers me. What is going on with these parents? How do you not value life, let alone your own life? This child has her blood running through her. And it brings me back to Elon Musk's statement that he made on X. And I don't remember it verbatim, But it went something like this. My child didn't ask to be brought into this world, so I owe my child everything. My child owes me nothing. And I think about that over and over again and how true it is. Just like we can't tell, we have no control who we're born from. We have no control what color our eyes are, our hair are, our skin is. We have no control what disabilities we're born with. We have no control what part of the world we're born in. We have no control as babies for any decisions. Well, we damn sure didn't ask to be brought into this world, but the least you can do is if you do bring us into this world, if you can't take care of us, give us to somebody that can. And keep your mugs off of us, right? We don't want babies being abused. They have a right to life. You forced that upon them. Every one of your children you forced life upon. The least you can do is make it the best life you can possibly make it for them and come from a place of decency and caring. That's the least a parent can do for a child. And again, in today's society, if you can't take care of your child or your child is unwanted pregnancy, you have options. Nobody's forcing you to keep these children. We have a variety of ways that you can anonymously give your child away. Up to 3 years old, I'm pretty confident that you can take your child into any hospital, safe place, or fire department and rid yourself of the responsibility. If you don't want the child, give the child to somebody that wants him or her, that will love him or her, that will take care of him or her and fight for him or her, not hurt him or her. Yeah, Lala, there may be more to that. See, just because you're transgender doesn't mean that you can just be an a-hole or treat a parent like crap. There's other things that go along with it other than just transgender, I would assume. So I think maybe that, especially not knowing what's going on behind their closed doors, that's just because the child's transgender and disowned doesn't mean that he disowned the child because of transgender. There are a lot of families that are toxic together. Okay. I'm not going to sit here and tell people that they need to be forced to be with a family that's toxic for them. Okay. And sometimes behaviors can force toxicity. I don't know what's going on. Let me refresh here. This is driving me nuts. I should not be having that many audio problems. It was like and it's coming back up again. So I'm probably going to have to reset my system. I hate freaking StreamYard. I will never refer this company. I'm kind of stuck with it because I don't have the time to redo all of my intro crap to move it to another system. So when I do find the time to do that, I'm out of here. I do not like StreamYard. Find yourself a different streaming service. This stream service is highly expensive and it sucks. They need audio engineers, better audio engineers if they have them. Because whatever they're doing, whenever you're on a MacBook computer, if your defaults aren't exact, it will screw your whole entire system up. That is an audio engineering issue. Completely audio engineering issue. And it doesn't even really matter at this point. Let me just change this and see if I hate audio problems. Maybe it'll screw it up and then reset it so I can set it. I don't know. I just hate it. I hate seeing that little Doppler up in the corner saying that my bandwidth sucks. Well, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for the bandwidth notice. It doesn't matter. It's just going to do whatever it's going to do. So we'll just keep moving on with the story. So anyways, I came across this. One of our mods sent this to me and had asked me to please play it. And although we do Travis Decker's Manhunt on another show, and even though it was part of our intro, in this show, we're saving Travis Decker for the crime stories. But because I missed it yesterday and this is the first show of the day, I am going to play it for you because, again, it was a request. And if it was a request from this person, it's obviously something that maybe people need to hear or see. So I'm going to go ahead and play it with you here, play it for you here. Hopefully everything works out. If you guys don't hear it, I'm sorry. I'm having technical issues because I'm on stream.
We believe that he's still alive. He's the coward that we've always known him to be.
The authorities of Chelan County believe that they have found Travis Decker, a former Army cavalryman suspected of killed his 3 daughters in the Blewett Pass area, and urged the public to remain vigilant in the Blewett Pass and Highway 97 areas. The authorities received a clue from a hiking group that they found a lonely hiker in Enchantments who seemed unprepared for the trail and weather conditions and was avoiding others. The tracking team immediately took action based on the information and found a lonely off-road hiker on a helicopter near Lake Kolchak. When the helicopter passed by, he escaped. Ground staff subsequently dispatched Police Dog Team 9 to track the person to the entrance of Ingalls Creek Trail. Investigators believe that the person may be Decker, who has not appeared for 12 days since the discovery of his daughter's body near Leavenworth earlier this month. Officials have requested hikers who have visited Enchantments in the past week to report any suspicious sightings. Tourists who travel alone on foot in the area are also required to call the reporting hotline so that investigators can confirm their identity and rule out suspicion. Chelan County has issued an alert advising residents living along Highway 97 to lock their homes and vehicles. If any clues are found, please contact the authorities immediately. If you see a suspect, do not attempt to contact or approach them.
All right, so that's kind of your disclaimer for that, and we're going to be getting over into more topics of discussion related to Lilly and Jack Sullivan. Lilly and Jack Sullivan disappeared from their home in Nova Scotia, Gairloch Road, Nova Scotia, Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia, Canada, and have not been seen or heard from since. Their parents' story hasn't really made sense, but we're going to get into... I found something. Remember... Let me ask you guys this. Remember how I asked you guys or told you guys that part of my bias is this whole substance abuse element, and I feel like Daniel's manipulative. Thank you, Andrea. I'll get to it. If I haven't read it, it's not going to be for this show. I'll have to read everything before I bring it up. But remember how I said that was what's bothering me, is how manipulative I feel that he is, that he's really kind of in front of the camera. He's begging for, so I was kind of split between both sides of this, because I felt like there was more he wasn't telling us, but I felt like he was hitting a lot of the boxes in the right, the right boxes, getting the check marks in the right boxes and such. Well, the issue is now I feel like I have more information to support his manipulativeness. And this really causes me pause. And it seems so simple. It seems so... What is the word I'm looking for? Give me a second while this... There it is. Open. It's this post here, and it doesn't seem like it would have a whole lot of significance, but it does, because I believe this shows you just how manipulative Daniel truly is. Let's read this. I'm going to put it up on the big screen. You guys might have to scroll in from your screen if need be to read this. So I'm going to read it. Let me find it real quick so I can put it up on my end so I can read it to you guys and read it verbatim. Okay, here we go. Let me move this over here. So I'm not worried about the blue. The blueprint is not in the blue boxes, I'm not really worried about. I believe that's his cousin that he's speaking to. It's these gray boxes that I am more concerned with. And here it is. I ran through the streams up to my waist many times. I could have slipped on a wet rock and hit my head and died, or fall on a stick or a branch and get impaled and die. I did it for the kids, and the world never sees that. That, to me, is a guilt trip. That, to me, implies, look at all that I've done. I couldn't have possibly hurt these kids. That is the most manipulative statement that I have ever read from Daniel Martell. This statement here behind the scenes that he never thought would make to the public eye is now in Bullhorn Betty's hot little hands. And I'm telling you, this is manipulative. This is a guilt trip to try to say, look at all I've done for these kids. How could I have hurt them? I put my life in jeopardy for these kids. Manipulative. Manipulative, manipulative, manipulative. Aw, thank you, Patty. Patty gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership to the one that received your Bullhorn Betty membership. Welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straitjacket in your padded room and welcome to the crazy house. Push the button in the wrong time, but it's a work in progress. It is a Friday. It is a Friday. Maybe I'm just excited that it's a Friday. No, I'm not excited it's a Friday because I'm working my butt off and I'm thinking, crap, it's Friday and I haven't gotten everything I needed to get done. All the research, all the work, all the court, all the... But this right here is a guilt trip. This right here, that's manipulative, y'all. Tell me that. Come on. I'm searching for the kids. I could have slipped on a wet rock and died. For fuck's sake. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to laugh. I am certainly not trying to laugh at such a serious case. But what in the AF? I'm just saying. I'm trying not to cuss. God knows I'm trying. I'm withholding them. I'm withholding them bombs. I slipped on a banana peel. Right. But come on. This is his exact... Maybe I should use the other one so I can blow it up so you guys can see it. Let me put this back up here. Blow it up on your screen. Put it up on your TV. It's probably blurry. But the gray spot right in the middle, it said, I ran through streams up to my waist many times, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. I could have slipped on a wet rock and hit my head and died, or fall on a stick or a branch and get impaled and die. I did it for the kids, and the world never sees that. What? What? I can't. That is the most manipulative statement. So anyways, I just wanted to show you guys some receipts that we do have support now that, so we started out with the theory, right? So this is how we process things. Let's just go through the processes. We heard information about the case. We took it. We analyzed the situation. We had several theories. One of those theories stated that the father might be manipulative. We didn't know. We're on the fence. Is he screaming for the world to believe him despite his past? Or is he being manipulative so he's not caught in this fire, in this raging fire of social media and public? And so I kept saying he's hitting all the boxes in the right place. He, all these things, but something's not sitting right with me. Something's not sitting right with me. I feel like manipulative. I feel like he's manipulative. I don't know if he's manipulative, but I feel like it. So there's a theory. We have a theory that he's manipulative. That stayed on the shelf. We took that. I told you guys how I felt. We discussed it ad nauseum and it shelved, right? We didn't have anything to support the theory that he is manipulative. Well, now we have this text right here, which supports he's manipulative. So now we're taking the manipulation off the shelf and it's back into play. So now where we once thought maybe Daniel might be innocent or something, or, maybe, believing him maybe a little bit more and maybe still side-eyeing him. I can't imagine us taking our sights off him, right? Even in your theories, even if you started believing him or something, you still probably kept him in your sights just to see how things, progress. But this is ultra manipulative. This right here is to get family on board to believe him. This right here was set up so he has something to say to his family to show and support that he wouldn't do anything to these children. But to go as extraordinary as to say you could slip on a rock or be impaled and die looking for them as the world should see that? Who gives a blessed you-know-what? Who cares? What parent out there or step-parent or stranger out there wouldn't do the same thing for a child that may have wandered off and may be in danger? Should we stop and give you a fucking applause? Excuse my language. Excuse my language. I didn't mean to do that. It kind of slipped out. There. So, who cares? And you want the world to see it? The world will never see it, so you did it for a show? Because you wanted the world to see it? Is that what we're hearing? It sounds like he, just in this, about the slipping and the falling, and then to hear it, to end it and say, I did it for the kids, and the world will never see that. That is a pretty powerful statement, but not one that looks good upon him. You know what it tells me? It tells me he put a show on for the blessed world. That's what this statement says to me. This right here is key, in my opinion. He didn't do it for any other purpose but for the world to see it, and now the world will never get to see it. Very manipulative. Highly manipulative. I'm sorry, to me, very, very manipulative. Now let's talk about how manipulative Malehya is. So friends of Malehya or people that support Malehya have been passing around this rumor that these children aren't part of the reservation and these children aren't part of the tribe. And, people are trying to basically disinform and misinform the public into believing that these children were kidnapped by her family in an effort to get them into the tribe and on a reservation. But the problem is these children were already living on the reservation. Now, something had to have happened. Okay? It sounds like Malehya and her mother stopped talking. It sounds like she ran away from her reservation or was kicked out. The children would not have been. If she chose to take the children, that was on her. But I don't think the reservation are going to kick children out of their tribe. They may kick an adult out of their tribe, but from what I'm understanding, is you have to do something really, really bad to get kicked out of their tribe. So I think this whole thing about her getting kicked out of the tribe is nonsense. And as a matter of fact, we may actually find out she was getting monthly tribal contributions, potentially. That doesn't sound like a woman or a woman that's kicked out of her reservation or that did not accept her children. No. And so a lot of people have been giving me some information about this topic of the reservation. And so I wanted to read this to you, and this was from one of our audience members. I don't see where there was any indication that I can use their name, so I'm not going to. They'll know whoever it is that sent this to me. But it says, I never heard of children not being accepted on the reservation a long time ago. Yes. My great grandmother was a full indigenous woman who married a white man and lost her status. But children, I have never heard of this. I'm only part native, and I live in a non status housing with my son. My cousin's children, who are only half, live on the reservation with their mother. The only way you get kicked off out of the reservation is you need to do something really bad. I highly doubt the children were capable of making this happen. I call pure BS. Maybe she got kicked out and took the kids. So there is that. But this, I want to remove this because a lot of people that like to prey and play on people's mind and disinform people, I don't know why there's an element on these social media platforms that protect bad guys. They actually hunt for the worst of the worst on here and try to protect them, run interference, run disinformation and misinformation campaigns. Why? When you have children 6 and 4, I don't know what animal could do that. But there are animals on these platforms that do just that. So I think they're trying to take a theory and turn it as fact when it doesn't hold water. And at the end of the day, Lily and Jack lived somewhere before Daniel was they got into a relationship or she moved out there. She only moved out there in 2023. All these children weren't born in 2023. It sounded like, based upon some other statements that I saw, it sounds like she wasn't anticipating her mother coming out there. That she had been separated, estranged from her own mother. Because there was a comment that said there were people, I can't remember how it was said. I can't even remember how to say it. But it was something along the lines of she reconnected with people she thought she would never reconnect with, or something to that effect. And I felt like she was implying her mother for some reason. I'll have to find that statement. I just saw it, but I'll have to find it. But I remember that she was implying that her mother was, or at least it conveyed to me based on everything I've learned about her and her mom's relationship not being so tight. Whatever. So let me get back here. I want you guys to hear the most recent statements. It just kicked my audio. Of course it did. Of course it did. Gracious. It's okay. We'll begrudgingly work through the technical issues. I wonder if maybe I just need to refresh this. Let me see if I can refresh this. If that'll help out a little bit. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe not. All right.
Father of Lilly and Jack Sullivan, the missing siblings, is speaking out about the RCMP's release yesterday about the case and questions he answered for investigators. CTV's Hafsa Arif spoke with him today, and she joins us from Westville, Nova Scotia.
Todd, Lily Sullivan and her younger brother Jack were last seen in May, and since then, investigators say they've chased down every lead. RCMP confirmed they've spoken with 54 people, conducted polygraph tests, and have received close to 500 tips. But yet, there's still no sign of the siblings. Jack and Lily's stepfather says he was the first to volunteer for a polygraph, hopeful it would help the search and ease public speculation.
I think it was there to ease public speculation. And I just want to remind our audience, those results have never been published. Those results, the only thing that the RCMP has acknowledged is that people took polygraph tests. They have never acknowledged the results of those polygraph tests, and neither has Daniel. The most he said is that they were in his favor. That was to the extent of it. So when he comes on here, I'm going to say it just like this. I want to see that polygraph test. I want to see what he failed and what he didn't fail. Because he didn't say he passed. He said it was favorable in his favor.
I know it would be a big help in the case and kind of narrow down maybe some of the speculations and just provide more evidence.
Daniel Martell says during...
I will tell you right now, if I'm in the middle of a nationwide, search for family members or children in my family, I will tell you right now, the last thing I really give a crap about is online speculation. I could care less whether you think I hung them up by their toes. In my mind, if I didn't happen, I could give two you-know-whats. So why is everybody so focused? The only people that I ever see focused on what social media is saying is the people that we deem probably had something to do with it. Do you think Riley Strain's mother was glued to social media finding out what social media believed? No, she was too busy out in the streets hitting up all the stores and convenient places along that strip trying to get video surveillance to find her son. She didn't give a crap what people were saying online. They had a person for their family to field all the online stuff if there was any tips and leads and things like that. But you didn't hear them come up on stage and say, social media. Why is it so funny that all the parents that we know had nothing to do with the disappearance of whoever their loved one is, whether it's a child or an adult? Why don't we ever hear those innocent parents that we know had nothing to do with it ever talk about social media? Why does it always somebody that's manipulative? Oh, social media has hurt my feelings. Where's the kids? Oh, I don't know, but I care about my feelings more than I'm worried about the kids. Ah, got it. Because that's the way it sounds to me. That's exactly how it sounds to me when I hear this crap coming out of a parent's mouth. You can almost die by being impaled by a stick or slipping on a rock, but you're worried about a few hurtful language from social media.
Provide more evidence.
Daniel Martell says during the polygraph test, he was asked several things, including whether or not he was involved in the disappearance of the children. He says both his cell phone and that of his estranged wife were confiscated and searched by investigators. This and weeks of interviews, there still hasn't been a major break in the case. And for their stepfather, the silence inside the once busy home is deafening.
Going from a family of 7 to just me, I mean, I have nothing but time to just think.
RCMP insists this is still very much an
I don't know about him.
Active investigation.
And let's not forget, every single one of our experts and I'm going to say this because it sounds like body language experts and statement analysis experts, they don't really like each other's profession. It's kind of cute. So I, was listening to the Deception Detective, and he talks about all the nuances in body language and how it can be fallible. And then you go over to Greg Hartley, and he says the same thing about statement experts. So it's just, it's the the dueling professions, whatever the case may be. But every single one of them, no matter what side of the aisle they're on or whether they even agree with each other's professions, have told us on both sides of the aisle, we need to be looking at Daniel Martell. There's something wrong with him that is picked up by these people that are looking at this case. And we can't dismiss that, y'all, because he's the only one in front of the camera. We also know how manipulative he can be. We just had proof of that.
They're reviewing surveillance footage and following digital evidence. But the emotional toll has already left its mark on Martell, including the loss of custody of his daughter, Meadow.
I haven't even got to see my own kids. Not even Meadow yet.
His own kids. So all of his kids. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I also heard Malehya has a habit of leaving at night, which is ironic.
But I'm still hopeful. I have supervised visits coming up that are granted by CPS.
The children's stepfather says he's grateful to the investigators and to people who continue to share tips, even if none have yet led to finding Jack and Lily. Until then, over a month later, the family continues to remain hopeful that the children will return home safe. Todd?
All right, so there's the update that you guys need to know. So let's get over to our poll. Now, our poll says, do you think Daniel is manipulative? And so we're ending the poll here. And the poll is 77% of our audience believes that he is manipulative. We have to look at this. You know, I don't trust Malehya either. Okay? I don't trust Malehya either. But we know when women do horrible things or do something they shouldn't have, who do they call? They call their significant other for help. And what typically happens? Well, the significant other typically helps. So what have we learned today? We have learned that in a case of a 3-year-old girl that was struck with a belt until she met her demise, the first person that was called was to her boyfriend, and her boyfriend did come home and help. Who was the first person Candace Bly called? Her husband. He most likely came home to help her. Who did Katie call? Her husband. What did we see? We seen a lights video at 4 a.m. believed to be somebody from his family, if not directly him. I believe it was him. Come to help. Who was the first people that these people called after doing these atrocities? Their significant other. Their significant other, their significant other, their significant other. Immediately after it happens, we have a call from Katie Proudfoot at exactly 9:43, where she stayed on the phone to almost an unreasonable time, midnight, when she's got to get up and go to work the next morning. Chris has got to get up and go to work the next morning. Chris has got to be to work and up on that crane by 7 a.m. Who the hell is going to stay on the phone until midnight on a Sunday? When everybody's got to be up in 5 hours. 4 to 5 hours. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to think. It's ridiculous to think. So we've got behavior here. And I think that is important. And I also, this is the last tidbit I'm going to show you guys today. And it is now to start sparking some curiosity from my audience. Where did it go? It's to start sparking some curiosity. So now people are starting to go through the photos. Is anything moved? Is anything torn apart? Why is this important? Many of you guys were not following me when I was covering Colin Knapp and Kathleen Moore. And one of the things in that case was I believe that he disposed of her body. And I, after going to the places that he was, it was apparent to me the most obvious place would be behind his home somewhere. And so we asked law enforcement if we could go back there. And they told us that we could, that they have already cleared the area. We're welcome to go back there. So we went back there. There was a huge lake. It had water moccasins in it. Not a lake. It's like a pond. It wasn't that deep, but it was large. And it had water moccasins. And it was a few feet deep, but it had water moccasins in it. So I was out there in shorts and tennis shoes. I'm not going through water moccasin water. Nowadays, that now that I have my wading suit and snake boots and things like that, I probably will go through the water this day and age. But back then, I did not. And long story short, when we got in contact with family friends and they went in the house, he was talking about how the FBI and the police, or the police SWAT, came into his house. They even came through the back door and broke his fence. But I knew what was on the other side of the fence, and I knew just by knowledge of the back side of that fence, there is no way they would have dropped anybody back there on the other side of that fence. There's no place except swamp. So they wouldn't have broke the back gate. And that's when I was absolutely 100% sure. And this is after I had already posted on Twitter that she was right there. And she was within 50 feet. Actually, I think she was within 5 feet of where I pointed that she would be. So it all comes down to things like this. What's missing? What's been pulled back? What appears to be disturbed? Now it's time to start going through the photos that we have and identifying things outside that may not look good. Because now we're identifying that Daniel is manipulative. We just heard another interview where he is taking the focus off the kids and putting it back on him, which is another red flag, because he has an opportunity to advocate for children that he basically states he believes is abducted, yet he's never spoken to the abductor. He's never called for those kids to come home. He's never spoken directly to the children. And now he's starting to flip the switch and now starting to collect some check marks in the wrong column, because he's now taking the focus off them and putting it on him and how he feels and how he wants the world to quit being so mean to him and what he's going through. No, 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 no. Something is going on here, and something is going on with these two parents, and we need to get to the bottom of it. If you have any information about this, if you know these people, I'm going to ask you that you call the RCMP. Any RCMP will do. I'm sure they'll get the information over, but you really want to try to do the RCMP Nova Scotia. I hear they have a stellar location that would be taking calls and helping. If you guys know these people, if you know their whereabouts, if you saw maybe Malehya or Daniel moving around at an unusual time of the evening, please call that information in. If you have any information that you have already called into law enforcement and you would like to share with the Bullhorn Betty channel, you may do that by emailing it to bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. But I also want to tell you that it is important that if you're going to come on any social media platform and bring information you feel is evidence and you have not turned that into law enforcement before you debut it on social media, that really says a lot about your integrity as a human being. Because the first and foremost for any content creator is protecting the children and the victims. And so when you're withholding information to have a debut on social media, you are intentionally and willfully withholding information on a case that has a ticking time clock on it. This is not the time to go online and share all of the information before you share it with law enforcement. Yes, the public wants to see it, but how hard is it for you just to turn it over to law enforcement before you show the world? That's all I'm asking. Would you want that to happen if it was your child or your loved one? Of course you would. A lot of people are learning a lot of information on social media, and I think it's important that make sure law enforcement has it in their hot little hands before some dorky YouTuber in Florida like me has it. Just saying. Okay? We like information, but we like it responsibly. If information is leaked online, I cover stuff, okay? I'm going to show it. If it's in the public domain, it will be shown on this show. If things aren't supposed to be in the public domain but wind up in the public domain, I will pick it up and I will air it on this show, whether or not it should be or not, because somebody else is going to. But what we need to do is make sure that we limit and be responsible for ourselves. You don't put a lot of stuff in the public for people like me to pick up if you don't want it readily available to the entire public. Because people like me will find it and will put it on our show because it's in the public forum. And if it's in a public forum on a case, a breaking case that we're covering, we're picking it up. So, again, be careful what you post in the public spotlight before parents or investigators know about it. All right, guys, that is the end of our show. What does it say? Betty, the tree fort at the yard is a red flag. Is there a tree fort? Faye, send me an email. Explain this tree fort to me, or send me some articles about it. I didn't even hear about this tree fort. I didn't know anything about it. 4 adults in the property, but no one's seen any. I know, VA. Again, the story doesn't make sense. We knew the story didn't make sense, but we didn't know, kind of what really happened. I think things are things are still blurry, from a factual standpoint, but they are coming into focus. We are gathering a little information. We are getting these nuggets of information, like this most recent text message from Daniel, and reading how manipulative he is and how he was trying to guilt somebody into believing he had nothing to do with it. If you have nothing to do with it, you don't have to guilt people in, like slipping on a rock and dying, being impaled by a freaking branch. What? They live in the middle of nowhere. Isn't that a product of their own environment as is, without even missing children? It just was so stinking manipulative. It was so stinking manipulative that it did support my theory that he has been. That means everything he has said, we are going to have to go through it with a different lens. We can no longer go through it with the lens that we believe him. We have to go through this with the lens of him being manipulative, cunning, and conniving. Because it sounds like that's the way he is. And then, like, even after reading this, just seeing that new interview with him, I don't know if it's because I now feel like he's manipulative, but it didn't seem like the other interviews. It didn't seem like the other interviews to me. It seemed like he was trying to say, see, I didn't do it. And I still don't believe him. I'd like to know, in all fairness, if I could see the results, of the polygraph, which it doesn't appear he minds telling people about. I don't want to hear favorable. I want to hear whether he passed, whether it was inconclusive, or he failed. And just because he passed, there may be some statements that he was deceptive on. And I want to see those statements. Again, I have problems. How about if he passed some of the questions, but not the other ones? Maybe he looked at it as that was favorable for him. He passed the majority of the questions. Did he pass or fail? He's never answered that question directly. And even with this latest information from the RCMP talking about they have provided polygraph tests to individuals, they didn't tell us what individuals they have provided polygraph tests to, or what the results of any of those polygraph tests are. So now that I know that Daniel's manipulative, now I have to question his statements related to the polygraph. I want more information. Hopefully he'll provide more information to the public if we ask nicely. I'm asking nicely. So if you guys could kindly send my email or my video over to Daniel, I'd greatly appreciate it. I'd like the results. I'd like to see what was said and how those were answered. And I would like to know whether he truly passed the entire polygraph or if just a few answers were favorable for him. I want more specificity. All right, guys, rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. And if you guys could do me a favor on your way out, don't forget to hit that thumbs up and also share this video out. I work very hard to compile good information that can be discussed. I try to find factual information and create talking points and theorize on those talking points as much as possible, and to bring you guys into this. If you guys have questions or perspective, or you want me to look at your viewpoint, You guys can always email that to bullhornbetty@gmail.com, bullhornbetty@gmail.com. We have 1, 2, 3 different emails this morning that we covered from our audience members that sent them to me in this show. So just to let you know, we do read the emails, we do discuss them, and we do actually pull them into the shows for all of you guys, as well as me, to learn more information. So if you have stuff, send it to me. All right, guys, I'll see you soon. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. Today's kind of a crunch day for me, guys. I've got a lot of work. I don't know what my schedule is going to be like today. So just watch all of my channels and wait for me. I'm sorry, I hate doing that to you. I usually have more direction with my day, but I've got so much legal paperwork that's got to be finalized, finished up, my proofreading finalized and submitted today, and it needs to be submitted sooner than later. So as soon as I get all of that wrapped up, I will be back on here, and we will move forward with our day and get more information. I do want to give you guys updates on the Decker case, the Decker manhunt. That will be on the Crime Story side. If you guys have not subbed up on the Crime Story side, please consider doing that. We have the same rules over there as we do here. So you can't chat with anybody unless you've been a subscriber for 24 hours. So if you guys want to chat with the family over there like you do over here, you need to sub up over there like you are over here. All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon. And lastly, I don't want to forget anybody. Turtle Talk, thank you so much. Praying for the safe return of these 2 little babies. We have Patty. Oh, wow, $5. Good morning, Patty. Thank you so much for that. Patty, I missed you. I missed the first one. At least I think I did. Anyways, thank you so much, Patty. Gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership and a super sticker. Well, bless you. I appreciate that. Oh, Brenda, you've been around for a while. But welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straitjacket in your padded room and welcome to the crazy house. Keep all hands and arms and legs in the tram while it is moving. We need to have a little All right, guys, we're getting a little off base here. You guys go have a great day. It's Friday. We'll see you guys soon. And just once I go through my next live, I'll let you guys know the rest of the schedule for the day. Aw, thank you. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you too, Amy. Well, we'll see you guys real soon. And I've got a lot of work here, and then we'll get live whenever we get live. God bless.